Hello, comrades, and welcome to episode number 252 of the Terminus Podcast for the weeks of March 17th, 2025. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me, I have Aiden Jansen, Jonathan Van Aken, Tyler L., and Hunter. Hunter, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
It's your first
Pleasure
time
to be
being here, and I understand that you are here for a good time, not a long time, so we're going to try to mosey on through this thing.
Yeah, we're trying to draft your clone right now.
We're working on it.
No, you just select me and then you hit Control Z. Control C.
Control Z. Yeah, we're undoing. Goodbye, Hunter.
It was
nice
great.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Chat around.
It
was nice to meet you, but it's even better to meet me.
All right. So yeah, this week we're not going to have a Locomotive Versus because it's been a month since the last episode. It might actually have been more than that. But we are going to be talking about PTC. We're going to be talking about North Star commuter equipment. East, you didn't write down what your topic is, but I assume it's just Florida. Thanks.
Yeah, there we go. Fluidad.
What is the Tyler? What is the railroad? I'm reading it as Wisconsin and Western. Okay, Wilmington and Western. And Amtrak Phase 7. Stop. The train will terminate at this station.
Bender, this is literally you.
I don't know where we are.
Okay, yeah, we're in Takao, near Tokyo.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Very nice.
Sorry, hold on. I'm still following up on the stupidity.
Very nice camera. This should be on
on the castration.
Sorry. That's not a great way to start that.
The castrations will continue until we're held.
I believe this is on the Chuo Rapid Line is where this is specifically.
I'm sorry for everyone who just started watching this podcast and we're already down the rabbit hole. But I have a different rabbit hole for us to go down, which is of course the Class 1 Mantle of Responsibility. We have a lot of incidents, so I will try to get through them as fast as possible. Starting on the 14th, CPKC derailed 11 cars somewhere in downtown Shreveport. Hey, I've been there. Following that, the very next day, Canadian National, which was the current holder up until this point, they had it for about 3 days. They hit a truck. No, they hit an SUV that was stuck in a snowbank on the tracks.
Nice.
Outstanding. This has got to be
at, full tilt. It just slowly approached it.
Yeah,
I mean, look in the video.
They were clearly trying to stop. They did not succeed. A funeral home limo was hit by CSX on the 17th. That's rough. There were, I think, 6 people in the limo. They all ended up going to the hospital. They were on there.
Were they still in the limo?
What?
Were they still in the limo? I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I would leave the limo, I feel like that's not a great place to be.
Usually there's not a ton of time. I feel like if there was time, they would have left the limo. But in this case, CSX...
I think this wasn't a case of, we're stuck, we can't do anything, let's get out and see if we can try to push this thing. It's this is happening.
Yeah, this is not
How can we be sure this wasn't a targeted attack?
This is not the Canadian National slowly hitting the car in the snowbank. This is a limousine getting railed by a CSX train.
Depending on the type of limousine, it wasn't the only thing getting railed on the track.
I think this
it was going to a funeral. It was full of family.
Rest in peace.
That's just how you make a terrible day.
This is the worst start to a podcast in a while. There is some dash cam video from 2 days later of another CSX train hitting a truck that tried to make a turn in a truck lot, cut it too hard, clipped the pole, fell over, and then immediately the train showed up to hit it. The truck crash and the train wreck are 2 separate incidents separated by about 30 seconds.
The train arrives hey guys, casual day.
Yeah. It's like it was waiting for it, actually. On the 25th of April, BNSF derailed behind a brewery. Womp womp.
Beer!
Yeah, no, very, very sedate derailment by the looks. 3 days later, on the 28th, there were 2 incidents. Another BNSF train, this one derailed by a tornado, and a Norfolk Southern train, which collided with a log truck and killed someone, unfortunately.
Oh dear.
I think that's the first fatality, which I would have... everyone in the limo is very lucky. I just want to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
5-1, May 1st. What happened here? CPKC train 645 wrecked in the middle of a yard somewhere, in Shoreham Yard. That was the first. What happened next? On the 4th of May, a bunch of these are from the Trains Hitting Things Instagram. A train hit a lowboy which is stuck on a crossing. A CSX train hit a lowboy which is stuck on a crossing. The video is framed such that you can see the sign that shows how a lowboy will get stuck on this exact crossing in the foreground, and the truck stuck on the crossing in that exact manner in the background.
How ironic.
Yeah, so
Darwinism.
they had to drive by this sign to get stuck over there. Now, clearly, this was not a... It doesn't seem like it would have been a fatal incident. The truck was there for a while. So no Darwin Award, but someone's getting fired. On that same day, another person died in a train and vehicle crash. This was a CPKC wreck. That is their last of the period. The following day, on 5-7, May 7th, CSX hit another truck stuck at a crossing, absolutely demolished it, demolished the crossing gate, which was quite an arrangement there. And these are all videos that I'm going by when they were posted, so they may not have happened on these dates, and I apologize if any of that is wrong. The 9th of May, hope everyone's keeping their best wreck in mind. On the 9th of May, we had a very distant and awkwardly lit photograph of a locomotive on its side from Canadian National. Also on the 9th, CSX had their last of the period, which was a derailment in Smyrna. Not totally clear what happened here, but 17 cars of dry goods and wood. No hazardous materials, nobody was hurt. Just train got eepy. On the 10th, this is another Trains Hitting Things, I think. Oh no, this is someone else. Folks got their car stuck on a railroad crossing. They all got out of the car, and I think. And then the car got nailed by a BNSF train. I think the people running away from the car are the people that were previously in the car. That's a good assumption. Because I don't know why you would not...
As far as I'm aware, they were.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't get out of the car.
Insert previous comments about the limo here.
The Norfolk Southern Railroad hit another semi on the 11th. This video is quite a long lead up. I'm sort of waiting for the explosion. I don't know why it's tagged T-Swift, but I don't have the audio on, so that might provide some hints. Yeah, so that semi gets absolutely demolished by a Norfolk Southern train. Let's see, any other ones? Yes, there were 2 more, both BNSF wrecks. A pedestrian died after being hit by a train in Edmond, and a locomotive was on fire in Flagstaff and created some very cinematic-looking clouds. Those are both the 15. That's the end of the Class 1 Mantle of Responsibility. Before we pick Best Wreck, which I'll give everyone a minute to ruminate on, the only Class 1 railroad who was not named during the course of the preceding 10 minutes was Union Pacific. Congratulations, Union Pacific. You are the current holder of the Mantle of Responsibility. Canadian National, you had it for one month, but really you had it for like 2 days because you wrecked immediately afterward. So all of the links to all of those incidents are available in the cargoes document in the description of this show. You can also find links to join our Discord and check out our website, among other things, theironhorseman.com. And I want to hear it. What does everyone think for Best Wreck? What do you want to...
Limo.
You think the limo? I don't know if I mean, no one died, so I don't feel as bad, but a lot of people went to the hospital. I think the locomotive on fire. It is ironic. It does have a certain element of narrative there.
Yeah.
I feel like the limo is just that's just kind of the classic case of making something just really bad even worse. But I think I'm gonna go with the CSX crash on the 6th of May, where it hits the lift and it goes off into the street.
Ooh, okay, yeah, where it hits the... Oh, yeah, I didn't even cover this one. I missed this one. This is a POV.
I thought I was crazy.
Yeah, this is a POV wreck. I'm sorry, I must have missed this one.
I know what this was. Is they finally released the dash cam footage from a wreck that happened like 3 years ago.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
So this is ineligible for best wreck. That's a great video, though.
I have personal bias for the BNSF one on the 10th.
The one on the 10th? Oh, is this the one that you were there for?
Yeah, this is the one I had front row seat with released.
Oh, God.
Wait, you were there?
That one's the best wreck. That one's the best. It was
great because as well.
Thunk.
Yeah, from 2017.
Oh, damn.
Oh, but yeah, no, the dash cam footage is quite remarkable.
I love train dash cam footage. I'm sure everyone has seen the dash cam footage of the train getting caught in the hurricane, and like the cars fall off the bridge,
the
and
tornado?
then the tornado, and then the more cars come up and slam into the engine.
Yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah. I thought you were talking about the one where two BNSF trains, like one takes the siding as the other one is leaving the siding.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also gonna vote for the one Tyler B.
Yeah, no, I think I'm obligated to vote for that one. Congratulations, BNSF. You have the best wreck of the period. That's not an accolade, for the record. Try not to do that. But I mean, it's hard to stop people from stopping on the tracks. Just ask Florida Man, which would be a great seg into the news, but we'll get there later. For now, in the last month, I've been to the WWF a couple of times. In the rain, both times. It was pretty miserable, but of course it's the WWF. We still had a lot of fun, and I went to a Mother's Day tea and brunch train, which was very cool. I got to spin around 9 on the turntable at Trout Brook. Had to clear a fallen tree, which was the first time I've been witness to that on the WWF. We're coming down the mountain, and it's pouring rain outside, and I'm inside the coach because I'm there with my mother and not there as a volunteer. And we just, engineer whistles for brakes. We come to a grinding halt, and I stick my head out the door, and our friend Mossy Mug is on the front platform, and he is soaked all the way through, rain jacket and all. And I was like, what happened? Is there a tree? And he just sort of looks and goes, yeah. And I went, oh, shoot, lucky guess. And then our train master comes through the train, and he's like, he's pointing to all the crew. He goes, you with me. Ellis, you two. And we went and cleared the tree off the track. It was already split in the middle, so it wasn't too bad.
Did the train hit it?
No, we stopped a good, probably 50, 100 feet short of it, which good reaction time on the part of the train crew. I will say not just the engineer, because we do not have automatic brakes, so everyone had to scramble to their brake wheels and stop the train. So yeah, we don't have automatic brakes. We don't have train line brakes at all. That era on
there's a specific whistle code for everyone to grab the brake wheel and turn the brakes on.
Yeah, one whistle is brakes, and it was a hell of a whistle. And actually, he might have done the emergency, which is I think 5 short, but I wasn't totally paying attention. I was in the middle of another conversation. The folks who were actually on train crew would be able to follow up. So, yeah, that's been my railroading adventure. We had an operating session at the Providence Northern today. It went pretty well. And yeah, I understand that in the last month, everyone's sort of been around. I don't want this segment to last too long, because I at least want Hunter to be able to talk about the discussion topic. But I don't know where to go to exactly. There's some minor local service stuff. The stuff from the T1 Trust, they flipped the frame over, and then they called the frame completed. They tacked the cylinders on, I think, and they selected their final assembly location, which is in Denison, I believe.
Yep, Denison, Ohio.
Yeah,
Yep.
we also happen to have a couple of articles from the Denison Railroad Depot, which I guess I'll just throw in as well. They got like a big grant to do a whole bunch of stuff, build out a new facility, and finish the assembly of the T1 there. It's kind of crazy that we're at that stage of the project.
When was this
Yeah.
started? Like 10 years ago?
Yeah, just about 10 years ago.
10 years flies past.
We also have news from the Mount Washington COG. I was planning to go with Casey before she went to England because she said, "Oh, I want to ride the original COG railway before I run, before I go ride the one in England, I think Snowdon Mountain." And we were going to go and ride the steam train, and I tried to pull up the schedule, and there were no steam trips on the schedule. They just released an article saying that they need, both locomotives need major work. So they might both get new boilers. Yeah, they're both getting new boilers later in the year. So that's big news for the Mount Washington COG. There will be no steam this year, which is a bummer. But the fact that they're getting brand new boilers for both of their locomotives should lay to rest any concerns with the end of steam on Mount Washington. So, Mount Washington, just for the record, is an absolutely amazing trip, and I cannot recommend it enough. I don't think anyone has. Hunter, have you been up Mount Washington on the COG?
I have not. I need
Okay.
to go. There's like a bucket list of places I gotta go.
Yeah, that's so no one else here has been up Mount Washington. It's a great trip. Anywho, what else? You know what? I'll go to Tyler because Tyler, you went on an O'Gillies. You had
Yes.
an O'Gillies day.
I had a couple of Achilles days, effectively. So, as viewers of the podcast are aware, Achilles is in the same state as I am, and just completed their education.
Yeah, you can't say he goes to school there anymore because he doesn't. Congratulations, O'Gillies.
Yes. So, because of that, O'Gillies is like, "Yeah, you want to come up for graduation party?" I got out of my classes a few days earlier. May as well. And so it becomes this whole thing of sneaking up to him right after he's graduated. Did actually just come up entirely to see you, effectively. And then getting the really chaotic but very good party that night where we crossed like 3 or 4 different friend groups. The crossover happened, and that was great. But because the crossover happened, the next day was, well, clarify, after the party, we had to escape because Amtrak was coming through. But they were, of course, about 2 hours late. We did, however, have the Spirited Virtual Railfan Operation Lifesaver Heritage Unit number 203.
Oh, cool.
So it's the first time I think I've caught an Amtrak Heritage Unit in 7 years, maybe?
Damn.
Something like that. But so the next day was bright and early. O'Gillies, Dad Gillies, myself, and Sean, one of O'Gillies' friends from Utah, and we spent the entire day going up and down the Flagstaff.
You alright?
Yeah. All the way from Darling to Maine, effectively. Yes, to Maine, definitely. It was also National Train Day, so we got to see a little bit of the festivities at the station in the morning.
Cool.
And we had to be back in town by 4:30 because we were grabbing dinner with everyone at 5. So we only got to catch a few things. Sean really wanted to get photos at Maine specifically. And of course, the first thing we catch at Maine is this UP bear table, which was definitely not the subject they particularly wanted, coming from a place where the heat UP Armor Yellow every single day. But needless to say, we get back to town. We get a bunch of good photos. Nothing goes wrong.
Oh, I see the
That's a great
photo.
Yeah. And then something goes wrong. So we're eating at this the Soba restaurant, right? That is just across from the station. So we get to see Sean, Julius, and I are seeing all the trains go back and forth, and then we see the stack come in, kind of slow, and it's slowing down, and we're just kind of look at each other like, "What's?"
Obviously, it's going to make a set out.
We pull up the cam, which is I've included the clip of that.
Oh, gee, okay. I don't think I have a way to show that, but I have the photo of the post wreck.
Yeah, and so Julius and I quickly run out, get some photos from across the street. We come back, we're sitting down, and then we realize the police are going to close the road. All of the vehicles in our party were in the parking lot at the station. The only way to get out of that parking lot is through that road.
No.
So it becomes a mad dash of running over there. I end up with Julius' parents' car. Because apparently I am a fast runner. Ripped my jeans in the process of getting in the vehicle.
Oh, no.
We drive off. When we meet up, just it was like a little bit in West Flag. Get everybody into their cars, start driving away, and then Sean realizes his camera is in O'Gillies' car. Sean's about to head all the way up to Utah.
Oh my god.
And so I have to go grab the camera, run all up to their car at a stoplight.
Run with your ripped jeans.
Yes. So
now,
it
where
was
did they rip?
down near the crotch.
Nice,
So it's
nice,
literally-
nice.
It's literally SpongeBob ripped my pants.
You're gonna-
episode.
Tyler, this little adventure is like checking more and more of the boxes of a horseman trip. I feel like we can't make it through a horseman trip without somebody ripping some clothes.
Yeah. So, but overall, it was great. We caught a bunch of stuff. We were going to go to the model club the next day, but O'Gillies and Carly were in a bit of a state.
Okay.
I should put it.
Is it like a post-party sort of state is what you mean?
As in, I would probably have been in the same state if I had my my horizontal driver's license and not my vertical.
Ah, yeah, okay. Now I understand the state in question. Yes.
Yeah. So that happened. That's pretty much all I've been up to besides valve gear calculations for a thing that will be talked about at a later date when it is done. Got everything. I've got the
Secret
charts. And I can
project.
say, haha. I can technical advise and ruin the chart.
Great. Ruin the chart?
I'm
You mean
thinking
the one that you haven't
more
made
royales?
yet?
More royales?
The-
That's what I'm hearing, more royales?
It can't go bad if it would never go
God.
in the first place.
Exactly. Did you always
Well,
have
question:
more royales?
if a photo is out of copyright protection in Japan, it was taken in Japan, but it's still on copyright protection in the U.S. Can we use it for a trading card?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good question.
That's a good
Okay,
question
well,
that
the
we'll
photographer
have to figure out later.
Dead.
No, okay. Actually, here's a follow-up question with copyright laws. Would it have copyright in America?
I believe
I
so.
believe so.
Yeah.
'Cause it would follow. It would follow the. I assumed it would follow the copyright of the area if it was taken, except unless it was registered copyright in the U.S. separately.
I don't know enough about copyright law to say something like categorically or not. I think given two options, I would go. I would abide by the more stringent of the two, just to be safe. But you might be right. So all right, Tyler went on an adventure. I went on a little bit of an adventure. Has anyone else been on an adventure in the last last few weeks, I think Bender.
I did go on an adventure.
I technically went on an adventure within the past 2 days, but it's not really what I was gonna talk about.
Well, that's
I
all
can
right.
still-
Hold on.
I mean-
Let's talk about Bender's adventure then. Bender, you went to the museum in Elkhart, right?
I did. So I mostly just got up one day and was like, I'm gonna go to Elkhart. I want
Nice.
to go to Half Price Books,
This is fair.
which is in South Bend, right next to Elkhart. So I went there. In one of the images you can see, I linked them. You can see that I got edition 1 of Eurocamp. Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
very
And,
awesome.
I was like, that's not a train.
Unfortunately, that was the only thing I got there. I took a look through all their CDs and stuff because apparently they don't sell them in like the big box stores here anymore. But that was what they had. That's what I got, and so I left with that. Then I pretty much just drove straight to Elkhart.
How long of a
I've lost
drive
my
was
own
that?
images here. It was at least an hour there, and probably about 40 minutes back, or thereabouts.
It's not bad at
Notably,
all.
the roads improved immediately once I entered Indiana. Strangely,
That is
suspiciously.
strangely. I mean, I guess if they can do one thing, it's roads, right? Indy 500.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Banning
take the
light
toll
rail.
road or anything. I decided it was not worth taking the toll road to save 10 minutes and spend $3, which was a sound decision. The traffic was amazingly okay. I didn't die. I pulled up behind a Volvo and
Nice.
immediately recognized it as
What?
a Volvo without being that close to it.
like
when it took
one
off-
like mine, you mean?
Yeah, I think it was
Nice.
a sedan. It's like a 740, right? Maybe. Or was
Nice.
it yeah.
We have literally breaking news. This is gonna be
Oh?
fun later.
Yes.
The thing that just got posted in Terminus News.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew you were
Inside.
going to say something about that.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I was not gonna be talking
All right, go
about
on.
this.
Keep going on.
So then I drove on to Elkhart, and this is in the center of the town. This is by the Amtrak station. Quite literally, this is across from it. Is the New York Central Railroad Heritage Museum, Railroad Museum rather. So this is just the entirety of the New York Central condensed into one place. So here they have notable things like New York Central 3001, pending deliverance to Fort Wayne. They have this Conrail caboose, pretty cool. You can see there's an old New York Central caboose behind it, and next to some suspicious reefers that we'll talk about.
Suspicious reefers. You
then
dear.
we have-
Suspicious stew, suspicious reefers.
True. So we have. They also have a South Bend, EMU there as well, double-ended.
Nice.
Control trabs are on both sides, and for some reason I never expected this, but they are literally in the doorway.
I have-
That kind of sucks.
have a question.
Yes.
What is that track in the foreground in the EMU picture?
That is a little train they have.
Okay, it looks, the curve is very sharp, and I was just like,
It is incredibly sharp. It's a little diesel that they run. It's stylized to look like their E8.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That's cute. Speaking of the E8,
Go
here's a
back.
picture of the E8.
There's the picture of the E8. Hold on. Here is the picture of the model E8.
They have this is the New York Central. You said all
Oh my god.
condensed down into one
That
place.
is adorable.
I would personally say quarantined, and they have a spy because there's a
Quarantined,
GG1.
Yeah, there is a GG1 next to the Mohawk, notably. I asked them about it, and they said, no, that thing is shot, and I'm inclined to believe them.
What, the GG1? Yeah, they all are. They ran
Yeah.
for like 100 years.
However, they also said that 3001 would be converted to oil burning, so I don't know. It's a little different, yeah.
I mean,
Something Fort Wayne
Didn't
wouldn't
somebody
do.
say that the only reason they replaced the GG1s was because they were just so old, yet they could keep going?
Yeah, they were just... Well, they used
Yeah.
really old inverters and whatnot, so they were kind of also just cancer.
They were full of PCBs, which isn't great. But even
Yeah.
ignoring that fact, I feel like something that does get understated when people talk about the issues with the GG1s is that by the time they were being retired, and I know 100 years is an exaggeration, but they had a lot of miles on those frames.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean,
No, they got used a lot.
some of them made it to Amtrak
Yeah.
after Pan Central. That's a shock.
Well, they went to Of course, they went to
Some went to
Pennsylvania,
Conrail, did they
Penn
not?
Central, Conrail, and Amtrak. And well, Conrail's ones ended when they fucked off with the Northeast Corridor in 1982.
Yeah,
Um,
they were used for electrified freight under Conrail,
That
which is
ended.
kind of legendary.
Notably,
awesome.
the PRR E44s also went to Conrail and Amtrak.
Mhm.
And those also got retired because they had the yucky cancer-giving PCBs. Rest in peace.
I was gonna
Notable
model
fun fact?
Conrail. You're giving me ideas to get a Conrail GG1.
You
It's
should.
great.
Yeah, you should. This.
Well,
Alright.
I believe that was also their like their unit for the 765 run, right? The 1776 unit or whatever. that
yeah,
thing.
the Big Joe.
Oh boy.
But that was great. Remember, they had to be limited to 100 because they were too powerful. We love the Pensy in this house.
Yeah. We
There's
do.
also a neat boxcar there with Elkhart, Sheikah. That is like Elkhart's thing is deer.
Oh,
And the New
you
York
dear.
Central Railroad
Yeah.
Museum thing on it. You deer.
You dear, yes.
Have their E unit, which I think is like a New York Central E unit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is an original E unit. I think it was.
Um,
Was it
yeah.
the last run of the eastbound 20th?
Maybe it's a 4085.
Trying to.
They-
let's see.
You could. Oh, notably, one thing that I think most people may not know about this place is that a lot of museums you can't really go in the cabs and stuff. You were allowed to go in the cab of 3001 and 4095. Those are both an option.
Cool.
That's nice.
You've
3001
also-
I was like unsure of until I asked them. I already I went outside when I first got there and found a volunteer and talked to them because there was a cat and I had to pet the cat. We talked about that for a bit, but I went up back to them and said, "Yeah, you can just get in the cab." I was like, "Okay." There's a sign on front that says "Don't climb on it," so I was really confused.
Yeah, like don't go on the roof.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
go on the front
Don't
of the
climb.
locomotive.
Don't climb on it, but climb in.
Yeah.
Yeah, climb in.
Yeah.
it.
I don't want to get on the plane. I want to get in the plane.
Evil is on the plane.
So I started the day with about 60% charge. By the time I ended, I had to get back in the car because my phone was on 1. So that was great.
Yeah. Here we go.
And
It
then-
was 4085 was Chicago, New York, 20th Century Limited, final time for December 1967.
Rest in peace. Get
Wah,
fucked.
wah.
Uh,
Get Penn Central.
No, it's really cool. They told me that the
Penn
horn
Central.
works, and I tried, but I think their solenoid is broken because when I did it, nothing happened. Or like it was out of air or something. I don't know. They have as well a 20th century end car there. They have a few passenger cars actually, both in the yard and being used as like restaurant spaces or whatever. They're in a little place behind the unit. And
Oh my.
when I was leaving, I was trying to get on the camera, like virtual railfan, because I have that there. They actually advertise it in the shop. They have a virtual railfan like thing.
Oh yeah, we should have done that camera. Damn it.
I know exactly, but I
Perfect.
like missed
I
it.
bet you were
because
the
I
one who
saw-
like proposed the camera.
Yes, exactly.
Extrato
But
fade.
it's funnier this way. But
That's
like,
great.
I was walking up to it, and just as I was like leaving, I was like, "Oh, I want to go do the camera," and I walk up to it, and this manifest rolls around. The first unit is nothing special. It's a 70 ace, right? And then here comes the AC/DC conversion unit, following it up. So that was fantastic. Random catch. Every time this happens, every time I go somewhere, not expecting to see a heritage unit, one right there in front of me. So that was great. And that was pretty much the end to the day. And then I drove home and crashed out.
Sounds about
Like
right.
crashed or crashed out.
Crashed out. I didn't crash.
Is there only
What did
one
you play,
shadow
9.0
bomb?
War Thunder? I think there's only there's only one well, it depends.
Oh.
Yeah, Shadow Bonnet. There's only one.
Okay.
The only other things to note here is that they had the reefers there, which are Milwaukee Road reefers. I already saw one in the MTM, actually. They have 2 here, just proving that you cannot avoid them. The Milwaukee is
No, I lied.
everywhere.
There's two
Um,
Shadow Bonnets.
Damn.
They have this little shed with the Osceola. I don't know if that's like a location on the Central or whatever. They just got that. And when I went to go pick up my littlest sister from school, in the parking lot, in one of the spaces, was this red Porsche 944. And that was it.
Oh, okay. That's.
Nice.
I threw the 944 up on screen. I think right away, and I was just like, "Wait, why is this here?" It's like cool,
Mother
but
then called it ugly, and I was like,
How did we
no.
get here?
This is a train show,
It's
right?
inevitable.
Yes. Car.
Bottom gear.
so
Bottom
No,
gear.
Bottom gear,
bottom
mates.
gear.
you put
That
a
was
link
the
to
entire
that.
Elkhart adventure.
All right. Do you want to very quickly cover what's going on with Mount Rainier Scenic, and then I want to give
Yes.
I want to because we almost had Hunter on the stage.
Right, so they're doing work on 70 again, getting it ready for the season. Obviously, they were still operating. Bridge fire was not an impedance to their operations. Go give them your money. They're doing boiler work on the number 5, Big 5. They're doing that as well. They're restoring that. Give them your money. And then they were restoring service to Morton, which is the southern part of the aptly named Milwaukee Morton branch. Crazy how that. Well, it's kind of the mineral branch, but it's whatever. They're both the same thing. And this is going to be them. They're going to get freight money, everything, and then it just kind of didn't.
It just kind of didn't.
It just kind of didn't. So as this post says, they just finalized the sale. They were celebrating. It was all hats off. Woo, we did it. And now we're going to go down, rebuild it, and that would be it, that is, that's one of their big things. And then
the unthinkable happened.
bridge caught fire. Now, it is suspected arson, and I'm inclined to believe that because jet fuel doesn't melt steel bridges.
It's
wooden bridges, sorry.
It's suspected.
That's not
It's
wood
suspected
bridges.
arson, but it's suspected arson insofar as they believe the fire was man-made. There's
Yeah.
nothing to indicate that it was intentionally burning down the bridge, at least as far as I understand. But this is it's big
It's
woods.
not out of the question.
It's
no.
not out of the question, but it's a big woods with lots of hikers, and sometimes stuff happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And at that point, it'd be like an abandoned bridge. Like who cares? Big structure. So I mean, shit happens. But I, in particular, don't necessarily think that this just could have randomly happened on Day of Days, for instance.
No, I mean clearly it was the angry Milwaukee spirits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think that hypothetically it could be somebody that was very spiteful. For one reason or another, there are people like that in the area, and I believe Tyler and Casey and I have talked about how there are people who are resentful for this kind of thing happening, and they don't actually want the business. They want them to go fuck off and die. So
Yes.
Maybe.
no problem. Give them your money, and they do they did the whole Narcoa speeder convention thing as well. So
Yeah, they did. They
Basically.
did raise a nice chunk of change to
Yes.
to replace the bridge. It's going to be interesting to see what the replacement looks like. I think that's
I
a
hope it's
whole
one.
discussion in and of
Well,
itself.
Question is it
So
going to
I
be
think-
stronger or is it going to be weaker? You better,
Probably stronger.
Hopefully, it's going to be stronger after all that. You're going to see
Well-
what was wrong with this.
Well, hopefully it's going to be
Nothing.
less flammable.
They said the bridge was rebuilt 20 years ago, so it was fine.
Yeah,
oh,
there was nothing wrong with the
No,
bridge.
it
It
was-
just happened to catch on fire.
Yeah, it caught fire.
it's an unfortunate circumstance,
Yeah.
I suppose.
So I think one of the things that they could do that would be prototypical is actually to put a steel beam in the middle of the bridge. This is something that the Milwaukee did on one of their bridges about 300 miles away when that caught fire in 1974. And so I think that would actually be prototypical and topical.
I mean, did it work?
Yeah, it was still in use until 2012.
On the Milwaukee Road
Okay,
can't
then
melt
it
steel
worked.
beams or whatever.
Go grab a bridge picture.
But yeah, so Mount Rainier Scenic, it's a cool operation. They really, I mean, they already survived one death, so really, what is this?
It's a stabbing in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
This is what's the one guy who
Here you go.
they tried to keep on poisoning him for insurance fraud?
Oh, I was going to say
Picture of
Rasputin
the
before you
bridge.
said insurance fraud.
Well, yeah, Rasputin works as well.
Who are you saying talking about?
I don't know, but I also
I don't think he
finding.
knows.
feel like I've heard the
Where
story, though.
is the?
So
Because it's a
There's-
salmonella video.
Oh,
Oh,
So there's the
God.
picture of the
Yes.
bridge, and here is a little picture of the bridge when it was on fire.
I do like that
in
bridge.
1974.
Oh, hey, that's not good.
oh,
No,
It's not.
Michael Malloy. That's it.
It's not supposed to be like that. Also, I just
no,
want to
but
say,
yeah.
because this came up in another thing. There was an article about like I think a BNSF washout. Just anytime I see rails and rails alone or rails and ties suspended over a gap like that, it is instantly terrifying to me, and I cannot pinpoint why. I assume it has something to do with unresolved trauma from Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Oh, probably.
I think it might be because of this very interesting thing called gravity, which will definitely apply if we were to test a train on that.
You know, I
Without
personally
support.
am not a fan of gravity.
Honestly, dude, gravity's lame.
It was
I
not
don't know
Sandra
why they
Bullock's
invented
best
that.
performance.
Yeah.
The cat
Am I-
agrees with me.
Yes, she does.
I can't agree. In
Uh,
my perfect world, gravity is an option and a choice.
you just
not a
you
rule.
still believe in gravity? Just walk on the sea. Alright, anywho,
I believe Newton invented gravity. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna blame him.
Isaac Newton.
hold on, phrasing.
He gave him his walk-in papers.
So, Hunter, what are you working on? You said you went on a little adventure, but that's not what you wanted to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
I'll talk about the endless descent into craziness.
Oh yeah,
that
welcome to
I've
the
done.
podcast.
Crazy? I was crazy.
Okay.
Craziness.
Okay, so as we know, Norfolk Southern has their office car special, and they decided to sell their F units, and I'm like, boo, yeah, exactly, boo, why would you do this? And there's like, they put 2 freight engines on it, they gear them for passenger service, and then they get rid of them, and then they're just like, okay, well, what do we use? Everyone likes heritage units, so now that's what we have. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to deal with like all the equipment changes and everything because I'm trying to make a office car special in HO scale for my fictional model railroad, which is not ever going to get built within this year, but it will happen. So I've made like a whole doc, a whole list of like all the cars I want to do and everything, and some of the cars were actually made in HO scale. Bachmann did a it's like an employee special for people who worked at the Juniata shops.
Oh.
And they did it's 4 of their Spectrum observation cars, and then they did a full dome car, and they all painted them in Norfolk Southern and lettered them for some of the cars in the OCS, because they're all named after like states that the railroad serves. So, and I have it written down. I think I could pull up. Okay, here we go. They did Ohio, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and then they did the full dome called Delaware, and then they have another observation car that's called Claytor Lake. So I have lost my mind looking for Pennsylvania because that's my home state, and I finally have it. So I have Delaware and I have Pennsylvania, and then I found a stainless steel car online, and I found an article that goes with it about how somebody made that into the car that was called New York, because that's a state that I've also been to. So I'm like, all right, great. So now I have the trifecta,
All right.
and now I'm doing more. So I'm gonna do like Kentucky and everything. That's another one.
Sweet. This is
Sorry, hold on. My mom was yelling at me. Excuse me. Sorry.
it's all right. I just was my thought about this. You're trying to like keep up with what they're currently doing. You said, right?
Well, I mean, sort of, but like at the same time, I just wanted to pick a couple of the cars that they have and then just kind of like put it together. So it's not it's not like an exact replication. It's like, hey, I thought this was cool. I want to do my own version, but I want to be like accurate to the source material. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay, I guess I understand. I was gonna say when you're, I feel like I haven't seen too many people chase the rabbit like I'm envisioning, but my thoughts to you and to model railroads everywhere are just like, you just got to pick a moment and settle on it, and just be like, okay, yeah, they're gonna keep changing stuff, they're gonna keep doing whatever, but if you're in the process of, or even not yet started, but you're doing like the background work for figuring out what you're gonna build or what you're gonna model or what you're gonna buy, like sometimes you gotta just put a cutoff on it and say like, all right, it's right at this time. I'm not going to try to get all the new stuff. My layout is going to be, even if it's present day, quote unquote, it's present day to when I started building a layout. The
era for my layout is like, it's not it's like modern day, but it's not in the strictest definition. So like, you could have Conrail or Penn Central on there, and it wouldn't be out of place. I mostly did like, I looked at the cars, how they were laid out on like the Masters Golf tournament, and I decided to like pull from that. So like, I sent an image here in the podcast channel. These are like some of the cars I want to do, because I said I have the Delaware Dome and I have Pennsylvania. I ordered 8 Norfolk and Western cars that Bachmann are making, and I'm going to just add decals to them, because 2 of them are Powhatan Aero coaches, and then others have like just the state name, so I don't have to change much. They just have to get here.
And I see your Fletcher car. I remember the discussion on that.
That was
I love,
that was
the
really
name.
fun. Yeah, I was very proud of myself for that. Like, I'm sat there on my couch, and my dad's a handyman, so like I ask him, and he's like, I don't know, and then it just hits me like a brick out of nowhere, and I'm just like, Fletcher, that's it. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. So I want to make like a whole custom car and everything with that name, because I thought it was really cool. And that's probably going to be the most complicated car, because I'm going to take like the doors out and put screens on the end and have crew figures leaning out the door and waving to passerbys.
Cool.
Oh yeah. And hopefully I'll bring it to Providence Northern. I mean,
absolutely.
We'll have a little OCS invasion.
Have you been there yet?
No, I need to go
okay.
there. The problem is I need to take the Acela to get there.
You absolutely do. I didn't lay eyes on, but it went by me, one of the Avelias on a test run last Thursday. I was on the way home from the office in Boston in the afternoon, and I see a post from maybe 20 minutes after I got on the train. Hey, look what just arrived at South Station. And it's like, oh snap, that went by us. Like, we were going south, it was going north. That must have been one of the trains that blew by on the other track, because it's tough to see when you're going at a combined, 250 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
But they're coming. They're coming. They're in like the final stages of testing. I don't know when exactly, but I would expect like within a month, maybe.
My biggest worry is like, well, it would be a perfect excuse to actually take the old Acela and then sometime in the future I get to take the new one, and then I can compare it. I know Mew did that. He took the old one.
Yeah, it's a great, and like anything is a good excuse. The Acela is a fun ride. At this point, just to say you've done it, just to check off that box.
Yeah, my mom used to take it for work.
Oh, really? That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, but one time the train broke down and she had to jump from the train car to the platform over this big gap because it wasn't designed to stop there.
Oh, gee.
I was like, oh my goodness.
They are showing their age. Anything else you want to cover before I turn it over to East to wrap up local service?
I think probably the fact that I've now been looking at trying to find a custom boxcar to make for Conrail's head and power boxcar that they used to have. I haven't found a lot of pictures of it for whatever reason. So, but I think it might be a maintenance of way car, and that's probably why. But I think it would definitely be interesting because I like to highlight some of the stuff that people don't really know about.
Support cars for trains, like head and power cars, steam gen cars, Those are all really neat. They are a really unique thing. I feel like people don't think about too often.
Yeah, and most people are like, oh, okay, that's fine. But like, I kind of like it because if you put like the boxcar at the head of the train, it's almost nostalgic on how like there used to be boxcars at the head of like express trains with like express freight and mail.
Yeah, this is not an REA boxcar. You go to load mail into it, and you just open the door, and there's a giant generator. It's like, oh wait, shoot,
it's just making all this racket. It's just like, ooh, this is not right.
Let me just load these boxes. Let me just put my luggage in here next to the.
Next to the big generator generating all the heat and the energy.
Anyway, so East, I understand that you've been doing a whole bunch of work over there at Gold Coast. How are things with that and with you? And what did you write over here?
I am.
How and the evil kitty.
Yeah, there's Evil Kitty.
Evil kitty.
Evil Kitty.
Is this your disgruntled shop cat?
It's one of two shop cats. She's the one who's outside and does not like people except for when she's hungry. When she's hungry, she's the friendliest cat in the world.
Damn, I know a cat like that.
But in any other point of time ever, she will just fight you. Like, she don't care how big you are. She's like, like, box out, fist up,
Hi, Bankman. This is actually a great photo, though. Not of the cat. I mean, the photo of the cat is great, but this photo of I see Burlington E unit. This other, what I assume is an E unit or an F unit 4033, and then
F unit
1084, which is what ACL.
That's not 1084.
Oh, sorry, 1804.
Yeah, it's ACL.
List XX, sorry.
Very good.
These are. I've never been to your museum. I would love to visit someday. But this is like the widest photograph I've ever seen of your museum grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you like the grass, or more grass?
I mean,
Where's the blend?
You've got grass. Your ground textures are pretty good, pretty solid.
Like 1 out of 10 on operations, but like 10 out of 10 on scenery.
Yeah.
God,
it's incredibly realistic. So what's going on with you with this?
A lot of work on repairing and fixing stuff, and doing preventative maintenance and stuff like that. Good stuff. Then in the next photo we have GP on stacks, because we love E&D on proximal power on stacks.
Blankhead forward.
This is the weekly transfer shuttle because on Sunday they don't run a northbound out of Fort Lauderdale Port, Fort Lauderdale Port Everglades. So they run the intermodal down to Miami, so they just want to run like combined train from Miami. And most of the time, the only thing they have lying around in Fort Lauderdale is a Jeep. And so what happens is you have a single Jeep for sometimes well over a mile of train.
Yeah.
Some of these trains got like 6,000 feet long trains with a single Jeep 40.
I have an idea for what we should do in Run 8.
If you should do it in Run, like unironically, it's like 0.1 HPT. And like the thing is like these guys are going by at like 15 miles an hour or like 20 miles an hour, but they're also in notch 8. So like you like feel and like hear the E&D like rattling itself to death, and it just kind of like crawls by you like it's screaming as you like kind of just watch it kind of go by.
You have added BLI Rolling Thunder to your layout, I see.
Exactly. Rolling Thunder.
The base.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like the at the end of this curve, it like just parallels a road for the next 6 miles. So I have paced it before. And the issue with pacing this is not that you have to drive too fast; it's that you have to drive too slow.
Oh my god!
It's like in 2019 chasing the big boy across Utah and Oklahoma, or not Oklahoma, Utah and Wyoming. and it's just like, oh, you can tell where it is because of the big red mass on the freeway in a traffic view. It's like, oh, here are all the people going 45. The speed limit is 80.
Yeah.
There's like the whole right lane is dedicated to the foamers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. What?
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 I just look over at the news. Apparently, Joe Biden got diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Damn.
Oh.
I
Damn.
like
Oh,
look
you guys
over and
didn't
I
know?
like.
I think I
just found out.
I had heard it was suspected like a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
I don't pay attention to the news.
I thought they confirmed that a little while ago.
Well,
But I can tell you
anyway.
what is confirmed. I do actually have to depart this
Oh.
station.
Damn.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I must make dinner for my family.
How
Lame
could you?
start.
Yeah, no, tell them to order a pizza.
Yeah.
We had
What are
pizza
Chinese
yesterday.
takeout?
I've
And
actually
pizza
got most of a
yesterday.
pizza here. Hold on, I'll just put it in the mail.
There you go. Thanks, Alice.
you're
I'll go to the
welcome.
post
Well-
office and grab it.
Now that you know how this thing goes, feel free to pop back anytime and
Of course, of course.
just
Thank you for having me.
welcome.
Yeah.
We will
Take care,
cover your
everybody.
we will cover your discussion topic
Segment
in
news.
your
Yeah.
in your absence.
Yeah, of course. You have to get my replacement as well.
Wait, yeah, hold on. We can try to steal somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
all
I
right,
will see you guys. Take care.
carry on.
See ya.
Yeah. So my last photo is a pair of SpongeBob's.
Yep.
Spingle Bob?
Spinglebob, yes. So, fun fact. CSX cannot run a single Jeep on the rock trains because they are so heavy that they will and have burnt out entire traction motors. Which is incredibly funny. Which is why you see 2 Jeeps on this train.
Okay.
They have also been recently trying the SD70 rebuilds on this line again, because the last time they tried the SD70 rebuilds, they ran one into the back of a GP38 or 39,
Oh well, you know.
which
It
is
shouldn't have
quite
been there.
impressive considering there's only one train on this line at a time. It is quite impressive that they managed to do that.
I mean, listen. If the MBTA can consistently run the Mattapan PCCs into one another, considering I feel like almost always only run one at a time, I'm sure CSX can handle this. And by handle this, I mean crash things.
Exactly. So they've been trying out the SD70s again. And let me tell you, they are fat. They are so fat that on their very first day of work, they split the rails
Oh no.
at the quarry, which is incredibly funny.
Oops, all gauge rods.
Yeah, and it's like we hear about it's like, huh, interesting. You know, poor like it's like I guess we now have like a 450 ton locomotive just kind of sitting here. You know, can't really do anything. So, yeah, good job CSX.
Remember when everyone just called them Crash Smash Explode, and then they became the good guys, and they're still breaking things though?
True.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, better than NS.
Yeah, I mean, CSX hasn't destroyed a town lately.
Magically.
Lately.
I think even UP has destroyed a town if you consider them pulling out of Palestine, Texas, to be
Yeah.
destroying that town.
Mhm.
I also don't think it was called Palestine. Was it?
Well, I thought it wasn't
I thought-
Palestine. Is it Palestine?
No, that's NS.
No.
Not UP.
NS is East
Different
Palestine.
Palestine.
You have
Was there a
Palestine,
second
Texas.
Palestine?
Mister, you mean a third one?
Oh my god. I'm not gonna say that
There's-
joke.
Yeah, it is.
One
It
in
is
Texas,
Palestine
there's
or
one in-
Palestine. I don't know why I thought it was
Yeah.
pronounced differently. It might be. If you're from Palestine/Palestine, Texas, how do you pronounce your town?
Yeah,
You mean like
make sure you spell it
Palestine?
out. Spell it out exactly how it's pronounced. So, Palestine or Palestine.
How do you spell out the Texas accent?
Yeehaw!
Yeah. Yeah, it's Hohenstein.
Yee, and I
True.
cannot
That
stress
is-
this part enough. Aw.
Ha. That's the one where they ran a Jevo into the pipe, right?
No, that's the one where they closed the shop. I don't know about.
The former Mopac shop. Okay.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I
was
think you're
talking about them
the one
destroying
where
the economy.
Oh, okay. Well, economy is a made-up thing or something or other.
Economies are made of combustible lemons.
Economies are, vibes-based economy. It's
Yeah,
Hope-based economy.
hope-based economy. Yeah, no, it's all, it's all very amorphous. Sadly, the food that it puts on the plate is not very amorphous.
No, the food
This-
that it puts on the plate is in fact very real.
Yeah, this
And the
will
cats can't have enough.
this will affect the trout population.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I would love to say, what else will affect the trout population, locomotive versus, but we're not going to be doing that. Instead,
Yes, Mitch.
what will affect the trout
think-
population?
Objection! I think we should do locomotive versus now.
No,
C62 versus S2.
oh God, the
Speed run.
rematch.
The
Again.
rematch.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure where exactly to begin with our. What does that
We can
stand for?
cover.
East. What is FLRIAD?
FLRI. You said I had to have. You said I didn't choose a topic, so I tried to spell Florida as quick as I can without looking at my keyboard. So we have Florida.
Floriad? Really? Okay.
This is.
Good lord.
You know what?
Sure,
You
that's
know
not
what? I
Florida,
guess
man.
it's
That's
not.
Florida.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
How could it be worse?
God.
No, I'm not sure where to begin. You know what? I was gonna start off with with Hunter's thing because
That's what I was gonna say. We should
yeah,
start off
yeah.
with Hunter,
I mean,
yeah.
we
It's
don't
still
have Hunter
extremely
anyway,
simple.
but Amtrak interns are having a great time still apparently because this is what they post. This new paint scheme is fire.
Yeah. It's like Guy Fieri.
I mean,
True.
also I can't. Is it wrong though? Like, it does look pretty good. You could probably go
It
back in
does.
podcast and see what my initial thoughts were on Phase 7, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks great on the HHP8.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I like the wider white stripe on the HSP8 and the P42 as opposed to the thin stripe on the Charger, but it is growing on me quite a lot.
I think if they put the wide stripe on the Charger, it would look so much worse, though.
The Chargers already look bad enough, okay? You can't make it look better.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it. I wonder if they're going to put any ACS 64s in this livery, if they haven't already.
Probably.
Yes, 64s.
I wonder what that's going to
No,
look like.
I mean, yeah, I would assume so.
I wonder what compels them to change the paint scheme, though. It's just like, oh, you know what, we need to
have a
do something else.
Train Sim World ACS 64.
Oh, that's not good,
Yeah.
though. I don't like that. That's,
Yeah, thank God it's only Train Sim
yeah.
World. Train Sim World.
You're ignoring the actual Train Sim World, like ACS 64 too. Unfortunate.
I don't really just want to. I don't want to just indiscriminately dunk on Train Sim World. But of all the
What?
train simulators, like if someone asks me what train simulator should I get, I don't think I'm gonna recommend that ever.
No, there's so
yeah,
many
yeah.
other ones.
So, yeah. Anyway,
I really want an F40 to get painted into Phase 7 just like this.
somebody
Because I think
posted.
it looks fair.
Fear. Yeah. Honestly, though, yeah, the F40 does look pretty great. The F40, the Jeep doesn't even look that bad either. I think there's a lot of blue on that Jeep, but
It'd be worse.
I like how the F40 has the little Amtrak logo on the red background, which I think is really neat.
Yeah.
I think it sets it apart. It's very cool. What did? Hold on, there was something else. Oh, we didn't mention how the T1 Trust used a screenshot from trains for the for the layout of the new thing. Because, like, speaking of trains, yeah, I don't know. Phase 7, it's cool. I like the. Somebody posted it up here somewhere, right? Somebody posted the color-coded coaches.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah. Hunter
that was
posted
part of it.
that the Amfleet 2s and the Viewliners, I don't know why these photos are so small, they're doing color-coded based on, like, type and class
I'll get you
and
some better
stuff,
photos.
which is really neat. I like that a lot. And if you can communicate that to a passenger on the ticket, maybe with a certain color highlight, and then they can correspond it with this, that's very clever.
Ellis, I'm afraid Americans are too dumb to not even understand color, but also like shape. Remember these things?
It goes in the square hole. I mean, I remember these things. I saw these throughout my childhood. What's wrong with Phase 5?
Close enough. Welcome back, Acela Amfleets.
God.
I mean, these were color without purpose. At least the new ones are color with purpose. It means something. The other one is just like, yeah, we made blobs.
Yeah, and the blobs are great.
I mean, I don't mind the blobs, but they're not functional blobs. What, Tyler?
Love me some blobs.
What I will say is, this is slight deja vu to J&R research.
I knew this was going to Japan. I had a feeling. Go on.
Blue, red, white. Your 3 different classes and colors that they'd have on bands. Across
on coaches,
just
yeah.
below the windows. So maybe having them on like the edges might not be the best. Like, yes, you're gonna have to see that when you go for the door, but I feel like the just huge stripe with the notes of what class is presumably a little bit more harder to miss? Question mark.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's not ideal, but I do think it's a clever thing to do. I mean, all about color coding. I mean, JNR did this. They also had the color coded nameplates for like how the locomotive is feeling today.
We also literally have the green cars.
Yes.
Like, right now.
And
see, train in America versus train in Japan.
True.
Thing, Japan.
Yeah.
But
no, we see. I think the Japanese know what colors are. Again, referred to. Put it in the square hole.
You know.
Oh God.
But
when is what's the movie where isn't Adam Sandler gets put into the future and he's the smartest person in the world?
Are you thinking of Idiocracy?
I
don't think it's Adam. Is it an Adam Sandler movie? I didn't think so.
Whichever one that they're using, like Gatorade to water the plants.
No, it is. It's Adam Sandler is like in it. Yeah, he's the main character.
Really?
Are you guys thinking of this movie?
I'm thinking of Idiocracy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a thing for Idiocracy. Is that the one like Tyler's thinking of? That's not the one with Adam. Oh, there's a clip with Adam Sandler in it. I guess he's not the main character.
I don't remember that at all. But at any rate,
maybe he looks like Adam. He looks like Adam Sandler.
I was gonna say I really don't think Adam Sandler is in this movie. But yeah, no, you are thinking of Idiocracy. They were using whatever to water the plants. Electrolytes. It's what plants. Brondo. It's got what plants crave. Great movie. So anyway, I did want to say that as for color coding, like the British also did the color-coded nameplates, right? But not based on locomotive vibes, based on like weight class and where could the locomotive go, if I remember right.
I don't think it was number plates. They had dots.
Oh, they had dots. Okay, I knew there was some sort of color coding. I wasn't sure how it presented. It's come up in my creation of the Marks Madness cards because of all the goddamn 10-wheelers.
God.
So those will be out soon. We got lots of cards to work on. Anyway, you know what? Speaking of Japan, Tyler, hit us with the breaking news.
Yes. So breaking news. This is the South Pacific Coast Railroad Company of California are restoring a funny little friend of ours, Kiso number 9, which is for those of you who are not aware, is a Baldwin 042T, or RT.
Whatever.
This is
T is T, okay?
Yeah.
Does it have a tender or not?
No.
Garrett's don't have tenders, and yet here you are claiming they're not tank engines.
God, here we
so,
go.
like, you know.
Garrett's are Garrett's, okay?
And they're tank engines.
No.
Hey.
Yes.
No, because there's no version without one. With one.
I mean, but there's versions with tenders.
Well, you can have an aux tender on anything.
So, like, yeah, well, yes, of course there's no version without a tender because they're tank engines.
Right, but they can't exist without the...
Neither can tank engines.
They can, though. You can just add a tender instead. There's no way you take a Garrett and, like, remove the tanks and add a tender. It doesn't work anymore.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, not with that. You could. You're tough for it.
Okay.
A new personal goal of mine: D tank engine at Garrett, just to prove you wrong.
Garrett tender engine.
Anyway.
Let's take a Garrett and make it immeasurably worse. Take everything useful out of here.
What you do is you fill the tanks with concrete and then give it a tender.
It's a CT. It's a concrete tank. And then you run it on the main line.
it's a tank engine then.
Anyway, no, it's a CB, concrete block.
Good God.
Communist block.
God.
Yes, our locomotive.
Duh.
So yeah, where they're fixing a Kiso, right?
Yes. So this Kiso, to explain a little bit, these are a particular breed of Baldwin product that was kind of they bought one of these for comparative trials. It beat everything else. Porters, I think some German designs, some homegrown. The homegrowns, they tried to copy this, but they ended up still buying like maybe 50 of these in total, I'd reckon, for the Imperial Forestry Bureau, of which about 14 were at Kiso itself. This one, they're built as 30-inch gauge locomotives. 2 of them are repatriated here to the U.S. The one that we are looking at today was originally in the California... Before it got to California State Railroad Museum, it was owned by an individual who had imported it and did a little bit of trickery, converted it to free-foot gauge because it's more common here.
Added 3 inches on each side.
Oh, that's kind of cursed. I don't know if I like that.
The other one is still 30-inch, but this one has been converted to free-foot, so it makes a little bit more sense for it to be operational. Some may remember it if you saw footage of Railfair 99. This was operational back then. It was then donated to CSRM. It stayed in the collection most of the time. It's been in the back shop, which will eventually at some point become open to the public. We will see. But it got transferred to Ardenwood, which is in Fremont, California. So now the group there wants to restore it to operational condition, which there's some things that need to be added. There's some things that need to be, of course, it needs to be torn down, checked over.
Who needs to tear it down? Fire the engine right now.
Oh, God. It notably does not have air brakes as it stands.
You don't need those.
Which
As not intended.
it did have air brakes for a while here in the U.S. and I don't think these didn't have air brakes when they were operating over in Japan, but
Exactly, as God intended.
God.
Exactly.
But yeah, God. And they want to upgrade some of the facilities around at Ardenwood to allow for it to operate just a little bit better. But then it'll be open to the public, and it'll be the first time that either of the two sisters have operated in the U.S. since presumably '99. I don't think it was actually fired up after that.
That's, what the article says is the last time it was fired up.
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool though.
It's
This is
Nice.
a neat dude. We like the Kiso. It was a legendary card in Batch 4, which we still have some of. They're the only trading cards we have left.
yeah.
I haven't seen anyone pull a Kiso lately, so they're not disappearing from the potential stock. I don't know how many have been pulled in total, but recently somebody bought one pack and pulled a Weyerhaeuser 201 from that, which, damn, lucky son of a gun. What else have you got, Tyler? I know you've got some other... I know you had another article that you started with before the breaking news.
Yeah. So we have an update on the thing that we were talking about last time, which is the Wilmington and Western.
Oh boy.
They have conducted some rallies. Again, the concerned volunteers of the Wilmington and Western have been out there and making noise and making people know what has been going on, which, for those who are not aware, the Wilmington and Western is a small tourist line in the Northeast, specifically Delaware. They're known for having operational steam as well as some early diesels. Specifically, I think that's an NW2 from the B&O that is always run on that branch. But as of recent years, the historic Red Clay Valley Inc. board itself, which is a nonprofit that oversees the Wilmington and Western, has kind of become isolated in questionable legal jurisdiction to what it should be doing under its charter. Because the volunteers themselves cannot actually vote on the board. It is only, I think, the president. It's something there where it's basically the board can elect members to join it, and it alone. So you have this case of the tourist line, which is kind of supposed to be like a nonprofit, is not being accountable to the volunteers and is been firing individuals and not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. But as you see, they've been calling for more transparency. There's been, hopefully, this won't take too long, but there is a push for legal injunctions so that the members can actually vote on their board and allow for stuff to get back to normal. Because the schedule, I believe, as it stands this year, they are not operating effectively because 98 needs work. The 060 has been also needs work. 98 is almost out of a 1472, but it's questionable if it can return at this state. So you end up with a case of the railroad itself cannot actually operate because the volunteers are not there, because they are not being heard, and frankly, it is questionable if the board actually really wants the railroad to return, given some of their actions in the last few years.
Which is, and it's still like unclear as to why this is the way that it is. Which,
yeah,
just like, I can't wait for 5 years down the road when this is all over with, watching the 4-hour-long video essay on the downfall of the Wilmington and Western, because
Rise and fall and rise again.
Because just like it seems like the entire organization just sort of collapsed in on itself in a matter of weeks. Clearly, this problem was brewing for longer than that, because the organization was set up in a way that was not really beholden to the people who did all the work. And also, there's plenty of allegations of corruption and collusion to go around.
Yeah.
We'll see what's true and what isn't when, in the video essay. But just like, holy crap, You don't think this kind of thing can happen until it does. It's kind of wild to see an organization just fall apart like this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it's something that's kind of bizarre, and again, there's a lot of stuff that has been said and concerns that have been raised that it will be. Mark me surprised if, again, we don't see in 5 years from now the 2-hour YouTube video of just what went wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope we get that.
Someday.
So yeah, if you're making an organization of really any kind, just try to make sure that there's always a mechanism for the people who do all the work to express some modicum of control over the whole thing. Otherwise, things don't go well for you, because they'll just leave. I would hope that the folks who are in positions of power in a nonprofit like this very much have the nonprofit's interests in mind, and are also, when they can be, boots on the ground. But when that doesn't happen, that's a cause for concern. If you are part of a nonprofit where you seem to be ignored and you're not getting what you need to run the thing, maybe bring that up to the people who have control, or sort of show up if you have any amount of control. Sometimes one of the most powerful things you can do in a nonprofit is just go to the meetings.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, and we talked about this I think last time, a lot of people don't do that. And so if there's 100 people in an organization, only 10 of them show up for the meetings, even if those people don't have voting power, they still have speaking power. And that's power in and of itself. If you don't show up, don't make your voice heard, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I think when we were on last time, I brought up the funny story of the group where they think the union is just these 10 members that always control everything in the meetings, and it's he figures out that they post the times publicly and goes to the meetings, and they're just hey, somebody else showed up.
Yeah,
finally.
It's great. Basically all organizations want you to show up for the meetings. If you're part of something, go.
Just do it. Make sure that a little bit of protection for the future.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to get Wilmington and Westerned.
Effectively.
Anyway,
that's one way to put railroaded.
That's true. So I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit more in depth, but maybe we should save that for last. Bender, what's going on with the North Star equipment? Because I know the North Star commuter train no longer exists,
Yes.
right?
I'm not sure if it no longer exists. I'm not like that in deep. I know they exist. I didn't know they exist until I went to I went to the Twin Cities and was like, they have commuter rail here? Because I feel like nobody knows about North Star, or at least not in the capacity that they should. We know about VRE, coaster, sounder, whatever the hell they want to call themselves, sounding transit.
No.
Bad.
Whatever
Bonking
the ones
transit.
in Arizona are, that's like outside of Phoenix, not Phoenix, Ogden, that one.
That's not Arizona. That's Utah.
Yeah.
Same place. It's the same geographic location. Okay, they all look the same.
Yeah, I mean, close enough.
Wow.
All that,
I mean,
right?
okay, are we wrong?
No. NJT, all that stuff. You know all about that. And specifically, a lot of those outside of like NJT or Metro are mostly private corporations.
Mm-hmm.
North Star is one that just kind of vibes. They have the same equipment. They have bi-levels and MPI locomotives. They run out of Minneapolis to somewhere. And from the one time I did see them, all the locomotives were at like one depot attached to bi-levels. And either A, they don't have the service that they think that they were going to get, or B, who knows? Maybe they just suck. I know Minneapolis has light rail as well, so maybe that's kind of an issue.
It should be a
Base?
contributing factor to their success, if anything.
It should be. Big problem, number one. Amtrak Horizons shit the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Right, the Horizons, those ones?
Yep.
Yeah.
Number...
No, it's like
that's-
bad.
They're all done pretty much. There are basically no
Yeah.
functional horizons that we know of.
that's fine.
I can actually expand on that a little bit. We don't have an article for it, but I like someone leaked some information, or allegedly leaked some information from Amtrak, where that they have found that there are 8 Horizon cars that have been deemed fixable, and they're being sent to Alstom for free repairs under the settlement for the Avelias being like 5 years late. So Alstom's gonna see if they also deem them worth fixing, but Amtrak sent them just like 10 like random Horizons, and they just scrapped them on site. They're like, we're not gonna bother even touching these. These things are beyond the repair capabilities of an actual locomotive, of an actual like train manufacturer. That's bad.
You jack up
Makes
the
you wonder
whistle
if
and
the
roll a new one.
Viewliners are just as bad.
Yeah. It's honestly surprising how quick the almost near extinction of the Horizons.
Oh yeah, there were
It
75
just-
of them in service, 3 months ago.
Yeah, and now we're down to supposedly maybe 8 savable.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And-
and you know what? I'm saying fuck them, fuck the Horizons. Not gonna miss them.
And the fact that this has also happened like so rapidly as well is if these are as bad as they genuinely say they are, it's a miracle no one got hurt.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I sort of feel the same way about the Horizons as I do about the Washington Bridge here in Providence. It's a real shame that things deteriorated to the point where they had to pull them all instantly. It's a failure of oversight, but it was caught before one of them fell apart in service. It was caught
Yeah.
before anyone got hurt, which is
Well, I mean,
a reason to be thankful.
yeah, like there's rumors that they were inspecting one car and they went to look at the roof and the car just collapsed under them.
I've heard a lot about that recently, about different other cars though, unrelated.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and I'm not trying to sort of discount what you're saying, East. I just want to be clear that there's a lot of rumors flying around. Some of these stories may be true, some of them may not be. And I don't want to lean too far into the hype of this whole thing. What we know is they inspected one, it was bad enough, and they pulled all of them, and they're all pretty bad. Meanwhile, Amtrak has dug up every single car that it has that could hit the rails.
Every Amfleet that's like movable is in service now.
Yep, all the Amfleet ones got pulled out of retirement, pulled out of mothballs, sent like piece by piece across the Empire Builder.
At what point do we get the turbo train back or turbo liner?
Oh hell yeah! Bring in the turbo liner.
So, oh yeah, if you could bring those out of service, that'd be great.
They're already in phase 5. It's close enough to phase 6.
True.
No. Take the red here and then paint it. Take the black and paint it red.
Hope to God the gas turbine still works.
Yep, just fire that baby up.
Just put a 645 inside of it.
Yes, yeah, here we go.
All of your issues.
Oh god.
Some of the things to be wary about here, right, is that, number one, these things are newer than Amfleets. But just as old as the newest Viewliner, or oldest Viewliner. So that makes me wonder if the Viewliner is going to have similar problems soon-ish, or if those are fine.
The thing with the Viewliners is, the Viewliners, like the original ones were built, and then they just didn't make any Viewliners for 20 years until they finally the second batch came around.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. But I'm pretty sure that first Viewliners are still on the road, I think.
Also, another important thing is the Horizons were built by Pullman Standard, right?
Yes.
Everything. Yeah, the Horizons were Pullman Standard. The Amfleets.
I thought they were Bombardier.
No.
They are Bombardier, but I believe that they were, like those are Pullman Standard. Bombardier kind of yoinked that as well, right? And then, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So basically, some of the confusion might come from here that these are built on the Comet design, which were built by Pullman Standard.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that's where I'm getting that.
So, it's the Pullman Standard design built by Bombardier, which, yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I take that back. Yes, they were built by Bombardier. As Benner said, on the Comet design, which was a Pullman Standard design. It's not. It is a different design than the Viewliners, and the Amfleets were built by Bud. The Viewliners were originally built by Bud. The prototypes were. The rest of them were made by Morrison Knudsen, and CAF for the Viewliner 2s. But yeah, so they might be similar in age, but there may be a difference in build quality, or at least in design.
Hopefully that they're better.
Also, just to come back to it, for context, like to go back to the beginning of this whole thing, North Star, the commuter rail, it was in October of 2023, service was increased to 4 round trips every weekday, and in February of 2025, service was terminated.
Oh, so they are out of business.
They're, quote, the Minnesota Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Council released a statement that the agencies had, quote, jointly started the process to explore transitioning to a bus service.
The worst kind of future.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
Unfortunately,
Why?
Minnesota is usually pretty good about this stuff, so that does unfortunately surprise me.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't go through with it and they keep North Star, but because of the whole problem that Amtrak is experiencing with these Horizons and how they are presumably or hypothetically or rumored to be completely and utterly fucked, pardon my French.
True, though.
North Star, since they have terminated operations
Sad.
For the time being or permanently, who knows, have equipment laying around. So, Amtrak has expressed interest in using North Star's MP36 PH-3s, coaches, and a cab car on the Hiawatha, which used Horizons until they all died. And Dallas Area Rapid Transit, on behalf of Trinity Railway Express, is also seeking a very similar consist or additional equipment, if available, for their startup, I believe. or
Yeah.
for the soccer events in 2026.
And to quickly like circle back around to North Star is like the thing is there. I don't know if you've seen the photo with the like passenger count. Um, but man, their ridership numbers are like honestly like I am always advocating for rail over bus. But honestly, a bus could drop like 4 buses a day could probably well not 4, but it's like 2,000 like riders a day down from like 100,000 or something like that
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
Oh, it's pretty bad. Like they have some decent highways there in and out of the Twin Cities, so
Yeah.
like, it's good. I've been there. It's fine. The Twin Cities itself is kind of okay. And I think one of the big things as well is the station placement isn't that good. You have
Oh, my bad.
had,
Weekday ridership is 300 people.
yeah, that's pretty
For
bad.
North Star?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
That is
Oh, you can see-
like 6
nobody rode
buses.
it after the pandemic. Ouch. It was doing fine, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Annual
So I think-
annual ridership in 2024 was 127,400. Which
It just fell off a
Yeah,
cliff.
pre-pandemic
it
it was almost a
hasn't
million.
Recovered. It just
Um,
has not recovered.
But definitely like the station placement. I feel like in St. Paul is kind of garbage because that's operating out of the old, I believe it's either the Great Northern or Northern Pacific like joint walking station. I know because it has like the murals of the EP2 in the ceiling, something whatever it is on the edge. I've been there. It's a nice place. But it's kind of out of the way. There is another station they could use that Amtrak used in the 80s after they did tear down the ex-Great Northern Depot, but they haven't used that. It's just full of tank cars now. And I feel like that could be slated. I mean, it's not very good when your station has 2 platforms. So,
Yeah. And the other thing is this is also kind of pathetic of a system.
Actually-
It's 6 stations.
actually, I could be wrong. I think, no, they're actually using the old Amtrak station. I'm wrong. I think that's what they're using. Is the old
downtown
Amtrak
station?
Yeah, because the big one is the one that is used by the Empire Builder and Hiawatha, I think. I don't know if the Hiawatha is using the downtown station too. But I feel like it's kind of shit. Probably fine without it. If ridership hasn't increased to pre-pandemic levels, then yeah, maybe just
Oh,
scrap it. Rip East.
Oof.
What happened? Oh, East has to leave. Damn it. 3-person podcast.
A rip.
Yay.
Yeah, well, it's a shame. It's weird to see that they doubled service, or they increased service back in 2023,
Well,
and then it just
Part of it-
like I'm surprised that they did that in the first place.
so part of it is that this isn't actually an uncommon thing to do, I think. When I was reading a book about an interurban, their service decreased as well, and I believe I have the figures laying around somewhere. And one of the solutions that they figured out, or the guy did at the time, was everybody wanted to cut service, which was the logical thing to do, and is what they did in this case as
Mhm.
well. But similarly, they also decided if we give them the trains, they will come. So they increased ridership back to pre-World War I levels, and predictably, they lost money.
Damn. Well.
Yeah. That's what happens.
But it is
It's just
it's
like
a
the
shame.
sad truth.
I was like, I understand, looking at the numbers, I understand why North Star was canned. But it's just a shame to see any loss of train service.
I think it
Yeah.
would be like definitely looking at the greater picture. You have to figure out why the ridership plummeted after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And why it didn't go back up. Because people were riding it, and now it's just
I will say though, as unfortunate it is that Minnesota is just kicking the can and going back to a bus, it is arguably fortuitous for literally the rest of the country.
It's
By
it's good
virtue
for
of-
Amtrak.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have to go like a certain country about a year ago where you scrounge up whatever is available in the North American passenger railcar market and end up with stuff like this.
SPV 2000s, let's go.
Yeah. This is just
Or,
spitballing on my part, but I feel like, hypothetically, if they were ever to bring back ridership to a pre-pandemic level with buses, the infrastructure might still be there, and they could just go right back to it because it's all on a main line. So
that is very true. As long as they keep the legal ability to do so, that will be great.
I mean, they could just make more start the bus company and lease out all the railway equipment, and therefore you're still making money on this stuff you bought 10, 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Very simple.
I will say, though, of note, please, Amtrak, do not buy HSTs to fix your Verizon problem.
No, that's not a good idea.
Hey, listen, if we get also this, I mean, the paint scheme on them is pretty nice. Like I can't deny that paint scheme.
It's nice. I don't like how the coupler is permanently.
Yeah. Now, you know what they should get? They should buy 24 series passenger cars.
I'm pretty sure most all of those that were at the port got scrapped recently.
Well, 12 series, is that still available? Maybe 14.
JR West is getting rid of 4 of them this year.
Right. Well, there you go. There's your solution. 4
God.
12 series cars.
Yeah, we're gonna take Cape gauge, make them standard gauge.
Hey, that's a third of the of the Horizon fleet. Not even.
Bingo.
It's half.
God.
At any rate.
But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Horizons. All right, fine. Let's cover East's articles because he's gone.
God.
Rest in peace.
I'm not going to be able to do these justice. Is the problem? Sunrail Board approves $6 million Sunshine Corridor. I don't know anything about Sunshine Corridor. This is why we need Taki. We need all Floridian. Like, goddamn. Orlando, Florida. I don't know anything about these. I didn't read these. I didn't prepare to do these. The Amtrak one we could cover because it was just one post that said these paint schemes are fire. I don't know where the Sunrail Corridor is or Sunshine Corridor.
Okay.
It's in Florida.
Sunrail Corridor should be down mid-Florida, kind of around the Orlando area, I believe.
Okay.
I've found what it is. It's north of Orlando. The goal is to expand to, I think, the Land from their current northern terminus of Debari.
So they got $6 million for a study.
That doesn't sound like a lot for a study.
They want to do. It looks like this would be the one where it's following Interstate 4 and State Route 528.
You mean the one where they took all the stuff where the rail's supposed to go in the middle of I-4 and put a toll road there?
Did they?
Yes, they did.
I thought that's where they put Brightline.
In the middle of I-4. I believe that was for, like, all that. It was for a rail corridor, I think, and then they just kind of put a toll road there.
But then where did Brightline go?
Around it.
Okay. Well, anyway.
The Brightline runs in the FEC.
Brightline runs on the outside of the. Okay, that's 528. Okay. I love how it goes I love how the Brightline tracks, they go in a straight line and then they just like veer slightly to get around the interchanges. The highway interchanges. Yeah. That's really funny and kind of cursed. Also, this connection is hilarious. Between Brightline and the CSX Stanton Spur, which runs up here to the Energy Center. And then it goes around this, then it goes around this, then it goes down this way by the airport. Okay. Well, I wish them luck with their study. That sounds cool.
Yeah, this is the going back like a year or so ago with the Orlando versus Walt Disney World Universal chaos. I guess as the plan stands, the corridor is going to be Sunrail owned, Brightline leasing, and then Brightline just building off to Tampa.
Okay, wait. So is this
Interesting.
going like west of Orlando? Is that the point?
I think so. This is going all the way to what this would go into the vicinity of Walt Disney World.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Is
sure.
the plan.
Okay.
And there's Universal, and there's something else. I've never been to Universal. I've been to Disney World.
I've been to Universal too many times. My mother used to work there.
Well, you lived in Florida. That's
Yes, I did. I live exactly where Taki lives right now.
like in his
Where
walls.
I lived. Oh, I used to.
No, God.
But okay, yeah, I see the dotted line in the open railway map all the way out to Tampa. So, okay, that's cool. Sunrail to Tampa, and Brightline too. There's a video about Brightline could be in big trouble. Frankly, I don't buy it. I haven't seen the video because this was not my discussion topic. But can I see like a transcript? Sometimes YouTube is like, hey, do you want to see the transcript? Because I will like quickly breeze through this.
Yeah.
Something high speed. This is just sort of probably about how the train isn't making money, but like I'm sure the railroad is making money on property because that's like the thing.
Yeah. And like, yes, that's annoying, but at the same time, it ostensibly works to help bring in further ridership. And then,
Yeah.
Force a bus to
This
take
is
a
magic.
bus to travel between the station and the mall. I don't know what mall that is. Use of full body advertising wraps. I don't think.
that's not.
I don't listen. This feels unsubstantiated. Give me some charts.
Rage bait used to be relievable.
But no, I don't think if Brightline ends up in trouble, we'll see some charts. That's what I want. I want some charts.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think this is very much. I'm sure East picked it so he could tell us how it's all bull.
Yeah.
But there is also an article about the FEC apparently parking tank cars next to the airport, and the concern that a plane is going to roll off the runway and smash into tank cars filled with alcohol, and it'll be a giant fireball.
They shouldn't be asking for a fireball. They should be asking for the modern version of our lovely Boston Molassacre.
It's sadly it is alcohol and not molasses. If the plane were to crash into a tank car of molasses, into a tank train full of molasses, that'd really be something else. Now I don't know exactly what's going on here, but there is a photo of tank cars sitting right next to the runway, pretty much, or like I believe this is off the end of a runway. It does feel like not a great place to put those.
I mean, yes, I do question though if the winds are predominantly going so that they are taking off and landing in the alternate direction.
Well, if they're
Because
that's fair, I guess.
like,
but
if it's an 80-20 split, it's a little bit more okay, but even then, yeah, still this is kind of
like as much as I love the idea of it's a railroad versus an airport. The railroad is cool. We like trains. Tell the airport to pound sand. I too would not want a line of flammable tank cars parked at the end of the runway if I'm coming in on a plane. I don't like lots of times concerns over what is the train, like what's going to happen with the train, get overblown. You know, you live next to the train tracks. There's like the train is going to come through your kitchen wall any day now. Like Thomas is coming to breakfast. It's going to happen. Live with it. But like, as much as we talk about them here, and as much as we see them on the news, train wrecks don't happen all that often.
People running into them?
Oh yeah, that happens plenty. But like the train spontaneously deciding to take a left onto your property, that doesn't happen too much.
Yeah.
But this is a little different. Planes, especially lately, it feels like planes got problems, and you really want the space at the end of your runway to be nice and big and open and clear, so that if something happens, you can just sort of keep rolling until you stop, and not roll directly into a giant line of tank cars.
I will say Fort Lauderdale has kind of failed at that assignment, though.
Well,
Because on the left, on the western end of this runway, right? This is runway, what is this? 10 left and 28 right. Is I-95. Like, it just butts up right immediately to I-95.
well, that's just an extra runway. It's
No.
It's runway 95.
And then the other side is you have 5 tracks. You have what looks to be like, I don't know if this is technically a retention pond or what they're trying to do here. And then you have, is this State Route 1? Question mark? The Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway.
Oh, that's so awesome. No, you know what? I take it back. That's the extra runway. Please land a plane on the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway.
Okay, but you're like, you would skid across the lanes, be in the air for a little bit, get across the retention pond, presumably hit the tankers as you hit the first part of the runway.
Well, that's why they shouldn't put the tankers there.
I've returned. Hi.
Hello.
About my
Fort Lauderdale.
We're talking about all the tank cars parked at the end of the runway and how that's a great idea. Nothing bad will happen.
Yeah. I'm sure it's wonderful. I mean, nothing bad has happened so far, which means nothing better will ever happen.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Tell that to East Palestine.
Yeah. The thing is, where else are you gonna park them?
I don't know, anywhere else. There's other tracks.
I think actually we should park them on the runway.
Oh god.
We should actually send them down the runway one at a time, and pilots have to dodge them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Praga.
Subway Surfer.
Wait, East, isn't this the airport where the museum used to? No.
Yes.
Oh god.
Wait, why did you leave? Did you get hit by a plane?
No, they wanted to build a highway, so they kicked us out.
Oh, boo, lame. That's the worst option.
And then they built the highways right next to the runway.
Yeah.
There's the effing interchanges around here are just making me cringe.
Which interchanges?
All of them.
The 95, 595, and the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway.
So we already covered like 2 of your articles while you were gone.
Which 2?
We talked about how I don't know what the Sunshine Corridor is, and we talked about how the Brightline video is probably just clickbait and doesn't make any sense to me.
Ragebait used to be believable.
Yeah.
I don't know what the video's about.
God damn it!
It's probably also clickbait. It's a 10-minute video. What are they talking about?
I don't know. I just like browsed through the transcript very lightly while Tyler kind of vamped. I don't know anything about Florida.
Oh, okay.
So what about the trash?
So I'm gonna quickly. The Sunshine Corridor is the Orlando to Tampa corridor.
Okay, cool. Yes, I was right. I figured it out. I get a gold
Yeah,
star.
so that's the one where it's they're fighting. It's the kiddies fighting over which theme park.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Yay.
no. The whole reason that we have the article here is because Disney and Universal finally agreed to like just have, because like neither one was gonna back down, so they just kind of mutually shook hands and said, well, we're gonna steal each other's theme park visitors anyway, so might as well have a train do it instead of driving.
What about?
So wait, it's going to both.
It's going to be in the.
They
It's going to
both-
be in the. They're going to put it in the DreamWorks Park, which is going to be built in the middle between Universal and.
Yeah.
Christ.
So the trash. There are trash trains that run between Miami and Fort Pierce because there's like a trash facility in Fort Pierce. Now people don't like that because apparently it smells doo-doo fart.
Damn.
But
I
the
mean,
trash
yeah,
is
that's
gonna
true.
get to the trash is gonna get to Fort Pierce anyway. So if you want the trash, being trucked in dump trucks or, truck trailers where you have, maybe 100 truck trailers instead of just a 50-car train. Trash is gonna go there regardless or not, unless you move the recycling plant and waste management plant. So
Actually, you should just not make trash anymore.
True. In the original article, which apparently got paywalled in the time that between me sending it and the podcast, the head of the top of the thing said, we tried to contact the FCC for statement about if they'd cancel the trains, and they replied no.
Got him.
Like, just no.
I will say though, and obviously, don't cancel the trash trains. Like, we need to move a lot of garbage all the time, and the more garbage you can move at once, the better. However, those trains are absolutely rank. I was in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
And I was standing on a bridge, happened to run into some other rail fans, and like a trash train went by, and I was like, "Oh, that wasn't too bad." And one of them was like, "Oh, that was an empty." And then the loaded one came by in the other direction, and I had to leave. I had to step away from the edge of the bridge.
God.
Did you jump over the bridge?
No. The trash train. What I'm trying to say is the trash train actively kept me from jumping. The smell held me back. Which, yeah, no, those things are. Ugh.
No. Before they got their own dedicated train, they used to be back on the tail end of the train I used to rail fan, and whenever Steve and I would go to the train, we'd see the trash and we'd just look at each other and just cover our noses.
Yeah, just end the video now. We're halfway through the train. End the video. Get out of here.
Yeah, because we're right at the yard lead, so they only go 15 miles an hour, and let me tell you, oh boy.
Pooping forever.
I just found this is perfection. Staten Island finest export, and it's just
garbage?
a photo of all of the trash.
Oh, that's an awful lot of garbage.
Yeah.
A
very interesting GP20.
I'm not gonna make the low-hanging fruit joke about Staten Island, but just pretend like I did. Everyone in the audience can understand the joke that I would make.
It's obviously the joke about how all of the land is from the subway system, so it's New York.
No, that's different.
So,
Shush.
which of these
All the
major
others.
intersections by the airport's your favorite, Ellis?
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
God.
I actually. Oh wait, do you want to do the Florida Man article? Do you have to? It's not. It's not even in Florida. Actually, wait a minute. Was this on an NJT train? No, it was not on an Amtrak train.
Oh, never mind. It was in New Jersey, though.
It was in New Jersey. Whatever.
Fort Lauderdale. Oh, he's from where the tankers are being stored.
That explains a lot, actually. All right, I guess we're talking about it. South Florida man has been indicted in New Jersey after bringing, quote, a trove of weapons aboard an Amtrak train, including what was described as a booby-trapped rifle.
For who? For him or for
I don't know. I don't know what's in this. I don't know what's in this man's suitcase. Apparently, a lot of guns. So this was
several boxes of ammunition. Christ.
This was a Florida man. This guy is going to ruin all the rest of us taking weird stuff on Amtrak. I'm glad they were able to listen. I can't think of a good reason to travel like on Amtrak across state lines with like an AK-47 and multiple loaded magazines and several boxes of ammunition and an additional handgun, and I need like
I was also previously arrested in Miami.
Awesome.
So
officers in Trenton were
the takeaway
notified
from
about a
this
person of interest wanted for weapons possession in Newark and saw this man about to board another Amtrak train.
another.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't look suspicious, you won't get, like, nothing bad will happen. Don't look suspicious.
So don't look like Kennedy, please.
I'll dress like
Nothing
Kennedy every
bad
day.
ever happened to the Kennedys. Ah.
Remove the multiple handkerchiefs were observed wrapped around the trigger guard. The officer placed the muzzle into the suitcases, pointed at the ground, and attempted to remove one of the handkerchiefs to render it safe, at which point the firearm discharged, without the officer engaging the trigger.
And it was loaded, awesome.
Yeah, so, like, the implication there is that the handkerchiefs were done in such a way that if you just tried to remove them, it would fire. Which,
Yeah,
that's... So, first of all, I hate that. That's terrible. However, that's kind of ingenious. Like, I have to respect it on some level.
so he made his own, like, suitcase gun?
No, it was just booby trap. Like, I don't think it was supposed to fire out of the suitcase. It was just like, I expect if the TSA takes this out of my bag and tries to undo the handkerchiefs, it's just going to go off and maybe shoot one of them. Which,
I feel like...
Yeah,
it's like
the ball remover 9000.
kind of evil.
I feel like they should have checked the, they should have racked it, taken out the magazine, and or used scissors to cut
even
off
if
the
they
handkerchief.
even if they took out the
like-
magazine, if there was one in the chamber, it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, exactly. That's why I say rack it. Because if you rack it, it's not
Yeah.
You
going
can't
to
rack it because the rags are wrapped around it.
Oh,
Well, there isn't an image showing how the things are wrapped around it, so maybe it was possible.
I would have assumed they would have racked it if it was the thing they could have done.
Well,
I just
That's
feel like
like-
they could have, like, done
well,
this better.
Firearm safety 101.
Calling, like, the bomb squad. I don't know.
I mean, at least the person had the wherewithal to aim the gun into the suitcase before trying to undo the things.
I mean, yes.
Aims it into the suitcase, accidentally blows up the suitcase.
Not a Darwin Award winner.
Yeah, the suitcase is lined with
So there were
tannerite.
bombs in there.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's about 100 of them at the airport.
Yeah, I was about to say this was actually this man was going to park at the end of the airport runway. But no, seriously, this is effed up, and I'm not gonna necessarily speculate on what this man's motives were, but I can't imagine it was anything good.
No.
It's always kind of nice to see when, like, the police do something good, particularly the TSA. You think they just, like, harass and molest people, but occasionally they do find someone who has, like, a lot of guns for no apparent reason.
Yeah, so I do want
Once
to
in a
very
blue moon.
quickly circle back around to the airport article.
Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
remember if it was on this article or a different article, or like someone was just telling me something. But they said like one of the like things that was talked about was putting the entire yard underground.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because like if you put the yard underground, then you could also make the tunnel under the New River Bridge in Fort Lauderdale and put the Brightline station underground, so you don't have the trains going through the town. And you know what counterpoint I say to that?
If anything catches on fire, we're so cooked. Like, that's...
Not just the. My counterpoint is the water table is maybe like 4 feet below the right of way.
Oh, that's fine. The Pennsylvania Railroad figured that out. Like, if they could do it, you could do it.
Yeah.
Do we want to go over the tunnel situation? Because
Listen,
I
it's
don't
not
think
currently full of water. Not currently.
Do we know that? Did we send someone under today?
Listen. When we get to the end of this section and talk about the latest train on Amtrak, if the tunnel is full of water, it'll be very readily apparent.
God.
So I was originally going to talk about. Oh, right. I did want to say one more thing about the train wrecks. which is that you don't usually derail into your lawn if you happen to live near them. However, there's a video of a Pennsylvania couple which has a CSX locomotive in their yard because it derailed like 2 months ago, and it's just been sitting there. And so,
Where?
in somewhere in Pennsylvania. Hold on, I'll put it. I'll put it. It's not an article; it's a video.
Oh wait, is this the one where This is not the one I was thinking of. What the fuck?
Wait, hold on. Is there a second one? What were you thinking of?
There was one where like the engine overran the end of the Y and just like ran into someone's backyard.
No, this is from it hit a truck, and it just went off into their lawn. And
I see.
This thing has been sitting there without wheels for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
At that point, I like how they tried to decorate it with flowers.
Yeah, they planted flowers around it. This is amazing. This is the most making lemonade out of lemons that I think I've ever seen on this show.
It's a miracle this thing
really
still
funny.
has its horn and its number boards, because those would be gone. I'm going to go pay this couple like $150 to go get the horn from this.
No.
I
That's
don't advocate doing this, obviously, and I'm not going to do that for legal reasons.
don't go do
I also
that.
don't know where this is. Oh, it's Pennsylvania. I want to go to Pennsylvania. I'll have Matt do it.
But it was really funny, this video specifically, because the couple was just like, yeah, CSX has been very, transparent throughout the entire process. And it's just...
It's not transparent enough, apparently, because it's still there.
Well, just because they're transparent doesn't mean they're going to remove it very quickly. It just means they're saying, hey, we're not going to remove it yet. We'll get to it. I mean, they came and took the wheels. This thing has a horn and number boards and no wheels.
Yeah.
I like that they've removed the traction motors and just left everything else.
I hope they emptied the fuel
God,
tank.
they put a no trespassing sign on the engine.
Nailed.
CSX.
That'll do
is
it.
Too funny.
God.
So
I like that they also removed, at least visibly removed the batteries from it. So,
so that no one could start it up and make off with it. That's also why they removed the wheels, I bet. Obviously.
Making off with it's not the issue. If you could probably still start this thing up.
Yeah, but what a party trick that would be.
You just what you do is you start it up and you don't tell anybody. You start it up when at 2 a.m. and you just start laying on the horn.
Yeah, wake the up. This is our yard locomotive. We named it Rooster.
You turn the rear headlights on so you just blind anyone going down the tracks.
Oh my god.
Or coming down the road.
So I do have more breaking news. Now we're over time, so I'm going to can my previous discussion topic, which I am under the impression would actually let us chit chat about it for quite a while. And I'm going to pick up the one that we have breaking news for, which is the New Jersey Transit strike. And we've made some allusions to this earlier in the show. NJT is currently striking. There is no New Jersey Transit service at all as of, a couple of days ago. I'm not going to necessarily dig into all of the details of the strike because I don't know the full timeline, but I know that there are no trains running. And I welcome everyone to dig in for themselves and understand it a little bit better. But where does any strike come from? The unions and the railroad company could not agree to a contract. The BLET rejected it by an 87% ballot, and yeah, so that's it led to a total shutdown. They couldn't. That ballot was. So the agreement was reached on March 6th. The original agreement. The union voted on it. It was massively rejected. And then they had a little bit of time to figure out what was going on, because this article was posted back in April. They had 30 days, and then as of the 15th, I think that must have been, they shuttered NJT, stopped running all trains. Some commuters showed up at the stations unaware of the strike. Sucks to be them. A bunch of people got onto Amtrak, which charged an exorbitant amount of money compared to NJT. Like, tickets like $70 for the same route. In one direction. So better expect some people work from home today. And as of today, or, over the last few days, as of today, as of 24 minutes ago, the Engineers Union says that there was a tentative deal reached with NJT. So they still have to vote on it. The union members still have to vote on it. But there is another deal on the table. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully they can ratify this and get back to work. I honestly, and I do want to hear anyone's thoughts on it, but I have to say that this is sort of like an oh my god, it's really happening kind of moment, because there has been so much talk of railroad strikes in the last handful of years. There was, like, it looked like we were going to have a huge railroad strike, and then that was, that was quashed, and there have been all sorts of other opportunities for railroad, like transit agencies and railroads to strike, but here they had a disagreement, and it actually happened. They had the 30 days to figure it out, and it didn't, like, nothing was resolved. So, I would expect that everyone here is glad that we do not work in New York City. And
for a multitude of reasons.
yeah, well, yeah, the rats the size of dogs.
And dogs the size of rats.
And dogs the size of rats. Yeah, that's true. They're in handbags everywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts about the NJT strike?
Keep it going.
Yeah, keep it happening.
Keep it, yeah.
Please don't bend.
The strike anarchists, the people, you guys just want to strike for the sake of striking.
Yeah.
All I can think of right now is the meme where it's it'll never happen people when it actually happens.
Nothing ever happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, all I'm going to say, right? Deny, defend, oppose.
No comment. For legal reasons, no
comment.
comment.
Yeah, no comment for legal reasons.
I think it's very good that it's happening now. It shouldn't have had to get to this point, but the fact of the matter is, at least with the strike going through, hopefully they will get all of what they do need, and just won't have to get back into the situation, at least in the next 20, 30 years. They'll know, oh, we can actually do that thing. We can actually press the pause everything button for up to 3 days, at least.
Yeah, it's kind of an important showing. It's a this can actually happen,
Yeah.
Hopefully this not just wakes up the NJT board, it wakes up folks everywhere, folks who could strike and folks who could avert a strike, the people in charge and the people on the ground, as it were, that people can just say no. They can stop showing up. They can grind the world to a halt for a couple days or for a week or whatever is necessary. And I do hope the NJT employees get what they need out of this strike and strike deal. Anyway, that is my news, because I was going to talk about what I was going to pull up was some stuff about electronic signaling and PTC and Steam, which I think could be a great discussion, but we are 2 hours into the show, which is about as far as I'd want to take it, and we still have to talk about the latest train on Amtrak, as well as some clerical stuff. Let me do maintenance away first. which is we've got some changes coming down the pipe for the organization of the server. There's going to be a couple of polls that go up soon, including an election for moderators.
Vote me. I promise not to be corrupt.
I just want, and only uncorrupt people say that. But no, I just want to sort of
Exactly.
put that out into the world. Yeah, I am not a crook.
You know, even if I was a crook, I could still run for. All right, let's name it out. Governor
no,
of
that's-
Ireland, the president.
But I just want to sort of put that out into the world so that when it happens, anyone who sees this knows that that's coming. And also, we did our poll for the next batch of trading cards, which is going to be Railway 200. There's going to be another poll for the batch after that, because I think I'm going to try to make 3 at the same time. It's going to be kind of crazy. So,
Yippee.
Oh no.
I need to restock the store. We need to figure out what's going to go. Ooh, a freight train on the camera. Back at 8:28:58. I'm not totally up to date. But yeah, no, it's going to be
frantically scrolling up to try and find the cam.
it's going to be chaotic in terms of getting everything situated and getting everything on the store for the trading cards. But we're kind of low on stock, and I really need to, I'd rather do everything at once. So, latest train on Amtrak. East, do you want to keep your guess from previous?
No, I'm gonna. What's 40 is North Run? I'm gonna take 41
Okay.
because these past, like when I checked like 2 days ago, every single Floridian was like 7 to 10 hours late.
Yikes.
So I'm gonna get. Give me 41, which I think should be the southbound.
Yes, it is. Okay. Tyler and Bender.
Imp Builder, westbound.
Westbound Empire Builder to Seattle. We're on to Seattle.
Give me a eastbound chief.
Eastbound Chief. Okay, we can start there. The Southwest Chief to Chicago is 1 hour and 4 minutes late in Las Vegas, New Mexico. There is not another chief. There's only the one on system. For as far as
That's
westbound,
good.
as far as eastbounds go, I suppose that's good.
All right.
The Empire Builder to Seattle is 2 hours and 29 minutes late at Malta, Montana. It is not the latest train on Amtrak. There is also an Empire Builder that is 29 minutes late at Columbus, Wisconsin. Also, of course, not the latest train on Amtrak. There are 2 Floridian number 41s on the system. One is 2 hours and 1 minute late at Petersburg, Virginia. The other one is 2 hours and 7 minutes late at Deerfield Beach, Florida. It is almost
Damn.
home. A couple of honorable mentions here. Those, of course, are not the latest train on Amtrak.
Damn.
The Floridian number 40 to Chicago is 3 hours and 2 minutes late at Lakeland, Florida. It actually left Miami on time, but had picked up 2 hours and 10 minutes of delay by the time it reached Fort Lauderdale.
That's like a 10-minute. Like, oh god, what happened? I need to look this up now.
There is an Acela that's 1 hour late, but don't worry, everything seems to be going through the tunnel okay. The latest train
Oh, sure. Water.
The latest train on Amtrak is Crescent, number 20, to New York, 4 hours and 3 minutes late at Baltimore, Maryland. It was mostly on
Wow,
time
since,
until it lost 3 hours of delay between Lynchburg and Charlottesville. There aren't really any other honorable mentions. Nothing else is that late. Amtrak's having an okay time.
So the northbound Floridian left Miami and then went right back to Miami because the engine shit itself.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
So it went out and then went right back into the station. That's pretty bad.
That is impressively bad.
Yeah, this train is going to get to Chicago disastrously late.
No, just punch it. They can make up time. Go.
On the quarter where they're allowed to go like 80 miles an hour and there's literally no CSX interference, they've already gained an hour.
Damn. Well,
I don't
they
know
tried.
how, unless they're speed restricted to like 60 or something like that.
Something boke. Hi, kitty cat. What is the cat's latest train on Amtrak? No, okay.
Oh.
What's the cat's termination?
That's-
Actually, it's time for terminations.
The cat's termination is well, tuna.
Tuna.
Well,
Tuna.
Also-
Altoona, you say?
this is the first that I've seen this. Amtrak train service between Winter Haven and Florence, Florida may incur delay due to heat-related restrictions.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the heat.
It's
the
the
rail is
time of
expanding.
the season.
Remember,
it's the
guys-
time of the season.
The whatever CN is running, we can't run it because the rail got bigger. I don't know.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
We're totally not just suspending service because we're crooks.
But they said they were not a crook.
Let him crook.
Well, I guess Florence is in South Carolina, but Winter Haven's in Florida.
Oh, same place. South Carolina. The only difference
South
is
Carolina is basically
Georgia.
just North Florida.
Georgia's just
They're
top
just
state.
as racist.
I mean,
Don't be racist. I am a
I am
building.
a building.
I mean, North Florida
You know what,
is a
this'll be my
totally different
termination.
animal than South Florida, but it's...
Oh, I need to like.
my termination will be the $350 Yoshitsune.
Oh God.
Like
Uh,
this eBay's levels of bad. Like it's awful.
There's gonna be removed tariffs in all capitals, so I can buy stuff from Japan again without having to pay tariffs.
I mean,
Over, Tyler, you know exactly why I want to go over. We both know exactly why we want to go over. Minimus.
You wrote remove taffers.
Teff, I did. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
yes.
I like how you misspelled it the wrong way and then misspelled it the wrong way again.
No, I misspelled it the correct way.
Okay.
Is-
Anyway,
right?
I'm just
Is
copying
how
that.
you spell broilers? That's not how you spell broilers. You know what? It's
R.M..
fine.
Yeah, no, it's still wrong, like I said. So
God
he
bless.
says remove taffers, broilers, roasters. Better says $350 Yoshitsune, remove tariffs with no closing parenthesis.
Fuck.
Your shit soon.
Okay.
That's an OpenTTD server reference.
Mr. President.
Line go up. What recession?
Yeah, what recession? I've never seen that happen during a recession, where it just like skyrocketed. So I'm trying to
Because
find
you
Richard
replaced
today. There's
everything with
Richard today.
the French stuff, which is stupid cheap.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why can't we have the SP pack?
Yeah, Tyler was crashing out earlier. He's like, wait, why can't we have the SP pack now?
Hey, I mean the SP pack,
been-
the SP pack and the French
SP
pack
pack
are
is
broken in very different ways.
Okay, but like, imagine both at once.
Yeah, I
Like,
would like not to.
I want an open. I want an
Actually,
open
yeah.
TTD
Can we
every
get the SP
add-on.
pack
No.
while keeping the French pack?
No, for multiple
Yeah.
reasons. The problem with like half the reason I removed the SP pack is not because it was like missing stuff and functionally problematic, because it just ends because the SP didn't continue existing until 2050. It's just I couldn't adjust the price on it to like be in line with everything else. To get the
That's pretty great.
to get the pack, no, it would be like ludicrously expensive. It would be twice as expensive as the American stuff we have now. It'd be problematic. But anyway. Oh shoot! What the hell should? Oh wait, no, Tyler, you're up. God hates a coward. This is not the video I expected.
Oh God, what is this?
yes.
Oh,
Stardew, why is it worth under sponsorship?
Because it's
why not?
it's fail
It's Veilfist.
You need to balance
Oh, it is
out the
real.
really
Yes,
relaxing
okay.
game with the really hatred like awful game that will
You
make
guys
you.
wanna
Well,
play
no. You
9.0?
gotta
You
take
wanna
the
play
really
9.0?
relaxing game and make it not relaxing.
yeah 10 times speed.
True. We gotta play War Thunder at the same time.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh god.
I'm gonna post the internet road trip because the internet road trip is wonderful, even though we are currently having a bot problem. But don't worry, they're gonna fix that. Listen, it's not gonna be any worse than Rainbow Six, that's for sure.
Yeah, O'Gillies. Everyone at O'Gillies, download Rainbow Six again. Install it, please.
I would play Rainbow with you guys.
O'Gillies. Okay, let's play Rainbow then.
After the podcast?
I'm down.
I'm down. I mean, do we have enough people? Maybe. I
I'm
wonder if
about to
Weibel
drag
does Rainbow
Monkey
Six
Dash
installed.
here
I wonder if I can
when
rope
I
him into this. Anyway, that's mine, and Hunter
going
doesn't
to-
have one because Hunter had to leave and was not aware that we do this. Not aware that we do a termination. So, anyway, all the links to everything is in the cargoes in the description. Thanks, everyone, for tagging along on this one. Join the Discord, buy trading cards, etc., etc. Like and comment and things like that. Especially if it has to do with that other thing that I said earlier that I asked people to comment about that I don't remember what it was. I think it was pronunciation of Palestine, Texas, wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What's-
of course,
what's this
a
episode
special
gonna be
thanks
called?
to the three of you for deciding communally that you can be on the podcast and explaining to Taki during the podcast that he's allowed to be on the podcast, which apparently no one did to this point. But you know what? I appreciate... I respect the... Well, no one told me I could be on it, so I'm not going to, try to, weasel my way in it. I, too, have to be specifically invited to things.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're all on Discord instead of, at parties.
True.
Indeed.
Except to Julie's.
Except Agilities. Well, he just graduated. He's, he has an exception.
No, he doesn't. Grind never stops.
The War Thunder grind? Which grind?
Volcano was those.
The Locomotive versus grind. But, thanks to Steve
yeah.
and Wes. Without you, we wouldn't have the trading cards. Thanks to whoever does this particular Japanese camera. And we'll see you all next week in a fortnight or whatever. In case of an emergency, call Conrail. Bye-bye.
Fortnite,
Bye.
I just shit out my ass.